Okay, next we're going to talk about some special right triangles. The first one is the 45, 45, 90, and then the second one is the 30, 60, 90 right triangle. I want to use this and talk about it so that we can complete the unit circle. So if you haven't printed out those extra handouts for Chapter 4, you need to do that so you'll have them for the next video. But the 45, 45, 90 triangle is an isosceles right triangle where the two sides or the two legs are the same length, and then the hypotenuse is always the square root of 2 times the length of your leg. So we generally use this as a guide. We say the two sides are 1, 1, then square root of 2. But think about if I had, let's draw another 45, 45, 90. What if the length of this side is 5? Okay, you're going to have to be able to figure out some different lengths of these triangles, especially in section 4.3. So if we know it's a 45, 45, 90, if this leg is 5, the other leg is 5. They're always going to be the same length. The hypotenuse is always going to be the square root of 2 times the length of these sides. So it would be 5 times the square root of 2. Okay, where we have to think in a different direction is, okay, what if they give me the length of the hypotenuse? Well, if they tell me it's 6 square root of 2, then it's pretty easy to figure out the length of the sides are both 6. Okay, but what if they give us a different length? Let's say they tell you the length of the hypotenuse is 10. Okay, so it's not written as a number times the square root of 2, but it's just a whole number. So to find the length of these two sides, you're going to have to divide by the square root of 2. So what is 10 divided by the square root of 2? Well, we have to rationalize. So that would be 10 square roots of 2 all over 2. Then this will reduce. 2 will go into 10, so that would be 5 square roots of 2. So that would be the length of each side in the 45, 45, 90. So in other words, if you're given the hypotenuse, you can divide by the square root of 2, and that will give you the length of the two sides. Okay, next let's look at the 30, 60, 90. The three lengths are all different. Okay, if I look at the short side that's across from the 30-degree angle, here it's a length of 1. The hypotenuse is 2, and then the third leg across from the 60 is the square root of 3. This again is kind of the standard pattern that we use when we're talking about 30, 60, 90. So let's just say, for example, if this side were 10 instead of a 1, okay, how would that change the other sides? Well, the hypotenuse is always going to be 2 times the length of the short side. So if the short side's 10, that means the hypotenuse is 20. This long leg that's opposite the 60 is always going to be the square root of 3 times the short side. So here it would be 10 square roots of 3 if that were the case. Now again, this one can be pretty simple if they just give you the length of the short side, but it's not going to always work out that way. Okay, let's say they give us 5 square roots of 3. Well, if that's the side opposite 60, I know that my short leg is just going to be 5. Then the hypotenuse would be 2 times the short leg, so that would be 10. Okay, let's look at one more example. Let's say that the length of this long leg here is just 6. Okay, so again, it doesn't have the square root of 3 with it, it's just a whole number. So to find the short side, I'm going to have to divide by the square root of 3. So 6 divided by the square root of 3, if we rationalize, would be 6 square roots of 3 over 3, and that's going to reduce to 2 square roots of 3. So that would be the length of the short leg. The hypotenuse would be 2 times that, so that would be 4 square roots of 3. When we multiply by 2, it doesn't change the radical. Okay, so what I want to look at, let's say I have two triangles, these that I've just drawn out and cut out of paper. This one is, let's look at it first, the 30, 60, 90. So I have the right triangle here, short side, long leg, hypotenuse. Okay, what if my hypotenuse is 1? Okay, if I want to find the length of the short side, it would be half the hypotenuse. So half of 1 is 1/2. And then the length of the long leg would be the square root of 3 times the short side. So if I multiply 1/2 times the square root of 3, that's just going to be the square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so I'm going to label these on my triangle. This side is 1, this side is 1/2, and this side is the square root of 3 over 2. Okay, then hold on to this, and it may help if you try to cut out a triangle yourself. Okay, I want to do the same thing for the 45, 45, 90. Okay, again, what if my hypotenuse is a 1? Alright, remember the 45, 45, 90, the two legs are the same size, so I have to divide the hypotenuse by the square root of 2. So 1 divided by the square root of 2, and then I rationalize, so that would be the square root of 2 over 2. So that's going to be the length of each side here, square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2, hypotenuse of 1. Okay, so next what I need you to do is get your unit circle that you should printed from the first little folder on the My Math Lab, and take your triangles, and we're going to look at the unit circle with these.